This can go away. Anime night as per usual. This can go out of this headset just in case anything comes on it. Twitter. Good evening, all. Hopefully the weekend is treating you all right so far. Gonna be working on some building layouts and building sketches for the cabin today. I just like having a visual for when I need to figure out where I am. And VTuber. Then we're on the 26th or 7th stream of art, which is pretty good. Do. Gonna be working on some cabin drawing tonight. So let's enjoy the music. Then here. Welcome in, Solace. Hopefully things are going okay and that your eyes aren't hurting too bad. Here. Oh boy, my brain is really short-circuiting now. Okay. Post in here. And that's the adult section. Jason. I don't think I watched the last time, so that watch streak is probably gone. There. There. Alrighty then. This canvas can also be widened a bit, considering what we're working on today. Welcome in, Star. I hope things are running relatively alright on your side so far. We're just getting started here, but how are things going on your side? I think I can go over now. Oof. So let's see here. It's probably fine. Pretty alright, thank you for asking. How about you? I'd say things are going relatively alright. We managed to get the Ender Dragon done in Solace's server without too many problems, so it's good to know at least that we don't have to worry about that for now. Also, I can realistically just draw with this stuff. Then what do I think of Honkai Star Rail? Can't say I have too much of an opinion on it yet, since I haven't been playing it, but people seem to be enjoying it at the very least, just because it is functionally Genshin, but a JRPG. And people do like themselves some Genshin, so I can't exactly fault them for liking Star Rail. There we go, that's more comfortable. So let's see here. Yeah, I haven't downloaded it yet or tried it out, so not 100% certain, but it looks okay for what it's trying to do. So, can't say I've got any problems with it just yet. You're playing Star Rail right now? Are you allowed to be playing video games, Nano? I thought you had work to do. The cult was gonna get you if you weren't keeping up with it. Of course, once I'm through the tutorial. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, because I don't know how long the actual tutorials would be for games like those. They kind of just like going for it and keeping you in the mix for the longest period of time. I've done plenty of work already, Jude. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have. But sometimes the cult leaders just get a little bit upset, is all. Let's see. Think you'll be in the tutorial for a while. Yeah, that's kind of my thought at the very least. The tutorial's probably just going to be lasting for an obscenely long time, even though you don't necessarily want it to. I'm also leaving a good amount of space for this. I'm just kind of starting in the bottom corner, to be honest. Which I realistically shouldn't be. Um, let's see. This would be a lobby. There would realistically be a closet here. For storage and such. You should be rank 7 after you're done the tutorial? Ah, damn. I just told people my name, not sure how long it'll keep me here. Well, I guess you'll have to see, Nano. Because at least when push comes to shove, it's probably going to want you to pay attention to what you're doing. And then we can probably do double doors here. Yeah, tend to level up pretty fast when you're on the lower levels. I don't suppose that Star Rail is going to have that same adventure level thing that Genshin does, where you're functionally just trying to avoid getting your adventure rank up too high before the game becomes impossible. Let's see here. This can just be a deck, in all honesty. Oh, I think it's in there. As in there's a world level system in here? Okay. That's admittedly the one thing I didn't care for with Genshin, so I guess going into Starfall, just make sure to keep that in mind and not try to rush that too hard. Because I know that ended up kind of screwing me over in the end, where it just wasn't that fun to grind when everything was stupidly powerful. And Chill Vibes Night? For the most part, yeah. I kind of just have my usual chiptune playlist on for now. So we're kind of just going to be listening to that, talking, and trying to draw out the roughest sketches of the cabin that I've had in mind for a bit. And then depending on how much of the basic architectural sketching we get done, we can maybe start figuring out how it would actually look. There we go. I mean, you could lower the world level. You could lower the world level? First I'm hearing about that. Let's see, this will open up into what I would assume would be the stairs up to the second floor. And we'll definitely draw the tiers out, but I just like making sure that stairs and such are labeled as needed. There we go. Yes, in Genshin Impact, you could lower your world by a singular level, and you could reverse it as well. Hmm. Suppose good to know. Still don't 100% have a reason to go back to it right now, if only because of the fact that the file that I would realistically want to be playing is on my PS4 account, and I would prefer to play the game on PC. And I would only want my PS4 account because that's the account that actually has Klee on it. So what's the cabin for? The cabin is functionally just like where we are right now. It's functionally just the environment that Jude lives in and people would actively visit should anyone, decide to visit. That's why occasionally I at least mention like welcome to the cabin or something similar along those lines. What's the best way to actually insinuate a sliding door? Because I don't think I've seen those in architectural plans before. Let's just do that. But I've wanted to functionally design this out for a hot minute now. I thought you were just going to recreate in Minecraft or something. Oh, fuck no. Like, it'd be nice to actually design something like this within Minecraft itself, but there's a bit too much limitations in that regard when it comes to actively building a house. Like, it would be a good starting point for sure, but I would prefer to just kind of sketch it out and draw it out, just so that way I can get a better visual on how everything works. Whoops. Nope. Can probably put this down here for now, just for first floor shenaniganry. Let's see here. It's definitely not a bad idea, though. Like, I'm not faulting it or anything, but just make this thick to make sure this is known to be a wall. I just prefer having a bit more visuals than cubes. This would more than likely be the living room area of some kind. So we probably don't need it being like the biggest thing possible, but it would take up a majority of the bottom floor space. So we would probably have a chimney here, as one of the power sources would end up being functionally coal power. since he can just go into the woods and chop trees to burn stuff. So this would end up being a fireplace here. With a bit of a roll cage to it, I suppose is the best way to say that. But the general idea that I like doing is I'll do a building sketch like this, just so that way I can get a good layout for what I need. And then I'll actually work on like drawing the actual building, so that way we can have a better visualization on what we're doing here. Since right now we would equate this to like... And then this would technically go more diagonally, actually. And then main door would be here-ish. Deck would be about here with some kind of latticing here. Does let some additional critters in, admittedly, but it's still good to actually have something like that there, so in case you need to get under there, it's not too hard to remove your latticing. Yeah, that's later. That's much later. We still actually have to like design the rough floor plan for this. Um, and technically speaking, we could have it a little off-centered for these walls, just because cabins lately have been getting fairly modern designs attached to them. So you can kind of have a lot open to you. Also, yes, for reference, this is supposed to be like a cupboard, so that way you can just kind of come in and drop your coat off. And yes, the fireplace is as big as it, because for using it as functional coal power, it kind of needs to be a little bit bulky. Because coal power is not the most efficient form of energy generation. Who would have guessed? This will probably be an entertainment stand. Which would then leave room for some couches. There. Oh, whoops. Need to actually get the sketcher out. Ooh. And I guess this is also a relatively good reference point, but the music we're listening to is usually what I'm listening to when I need to go out for a walk. So I do try to keep it a little bit high energy when I'm at least out and about, trying to make sure I'm not punching people while I'm shopping. Doot. Let's see here. What else would you have in the living room? Realistically, a little side table thing here, since that'll be up and against the wall anyways. And then would you have a couch that close to the fireplace? No, this would probably be like a cupboard of some kind. Or an ottoman. Just so that way you've got some storage. And then I think there wouldn't be a full wall, but there may be like a half wall here. And be a little bit more open concept just to lead into the kitchen. Because there isn't an exact reason to just close everything off in a resting space like a cabin in the first place, right? Admittedly, if we had the option to, this would also be something that would be nice to build in like House Flipper, to be honest with you. The Sims House Planner? No, this is just regular sketching. Oh yeah, this is some Dust Force music. I actually love the Dust Force soundtrack. It's not a game that I'm good at just because that's a functional speedrunner's game. Like, you need to be able to learn its systems inside and out in order to do it well. But I do like playing it from time to time, and the music is just perfect. Lifeform did some good stuff. They really did. Like, hats off to them for one thing. Designing my house, good. Give me the intel I need for when I rob you. Oh, don't worry, Nick. I'm not drawing any of the secret traps or all of the hidden secrets that would exist here. Like, we're not going to be designing the basement. We're just designing what's above ground. And then I'm just biased, but I would put a little cubby underneath the stairs. Do the traps work on Wurmples? Yeah. Yeah, you're a Wurmple, Nick. Wurmples don't have any defense. I could just chuck a rock at you and you would die. At least I hope I can figure out the weakness of a Wurmple. Little did you know, you're the strongest, most unique Wurmple ever. Okay, okay, fine. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Nick. I'll make sure to use 2 rocks when you try to invade my home. Mm. No Wurmple besides me is the size of Rayquaza. Oh boy, Nick, please. There we go. Ugh. I'm not sure if you'd be considered a Wurmple at that rate, Nick. That's very much evolving far beyond your species limit. I think a refrigerator would be here. Oot. I think there. Kitchen would probably be red. Then a dining room would probably be there. Living room can be green. Lobby can be this. A general staircase can just be the yellow. There we go. I have proof that I'm a Wurmple. I just have to tag the right second of the video. Okay. I'm not sure what the significance on that would be. Two. Oops. There. There. There we go. Let's see. Kitches being red for people to not notice the blood of your enemies. I mean, you can't prove that. Let's see here. This would probably be... a sink. There would probably be cupboards going up through here. Which mildly invalidates the sink rating, but... there we go. What would I do here? Probably just make sure that something like that existed. Actually, no. I wouldn't put a door right in the middle there. I'd put doors that kind of just close into that area. This would technically have doors above it. Just get rid of all that for now. The sink is cluttering that up a little bit. So those would open up to allow you to get access to the corner. And then this would also probably be a big shelf on its own. Should give you enough for that at least. And then this half wall would probably serve as another storage unit. But more so just like a shelf. May I post the link of my lore? You can, but you're still a Wurmple, Nick. I'm not sure if lore is necessarily going to make that big of a difference. Warning, it goes hard. Admittedly, if it's a video, I don't exactly have the time to look at that right now. Oh, right, it's in this. Alright, well, if it's one of ELH's games, I'll have to listen to that another time. Just a 5-second clip that I can't listen to right now.
Yeah, it looks like I have a gem.
Hmm. And at least when it comes to the 5-second clip, that's just her getting a Wurmple and naming it Nick, so that doesn't exactly explain how you're 6 feet long, Nick. Yeah, Nick the Wurmple. I heard the 5 seconds. Good. I probably should listen to more of ELH's games, but I don't know if he's actually been streaming as much. There we go. Let's see. That made My Team Rocket, that made Pokemon Dynamax. Still kind of under the impression that Dynamaxing was functionally just holograms with special effects, but that's just me. And ELH did stream earlier today? Then I need to pay better attention to Twitch. But I was a wee bit busy, so can't 100%. Dude. There we go. Dynamaxing was a pretty bad gimmick. Yeah. Dynamaxing was not the best option since it was functionally just, oh, hey, we're gonna buff your stab attacks and give you more health. Not the worst thing in the world, but like they could have done better. Mega Evolution is just crack. I mean, yeah. Mega Evolution also functionally like harmed most of the Pokemon anyways. Like I think the only ones who may not have been injured by just Mega Evolving would be Audino. I think. Because, like, Aerodactyl had stone shoot out of its body. You've got the Gyarados, which Brain has just become Rage. You've got Scizor, which functionally melts itself to become a Mega Evolution. There. Gonna have to figure out proper chair designs for this too, in all honesty. To be honest, most of the gimmicks are bad. And you get Charizard and... No. No, he doesn't. Don't think we'll want that phrasing in here, Nick, just as a heads up. Good. But yeah, Charizard getting 2 megas is just the fact that Charizard is still one of the most popular Pokemon ever. Which is fair. OG Charizard is at least up there in terms of recollection, and just the amount of advertising they have out for it anyways doesn't exactly help that much. Also, yes, this table is meant to be decently large. Which I'm realizing I made the couches a little bit too wide. Yeah. Should probably adjust this a bit. Charizard's pretty overused. He took over Pikachu in terms of the games. I mean, yeah, he did. Pikachu just exists. It's got its light ball. It tries to be a good mon. There we go. What do you get the end of Sword and Shield? Charmander? Well, that's because they wanted to give Leon the Charizard instead of just having it as a special event insert later. But yeah. And we had the special event Charmander for Scarlet and Violet as well before most of the other starters actually came out. Because I think right now they're working on like the Galar starters for the raids and such. Galar? Yeah, the Galar starters. So I think there was Inteleon raids recently. Not that Inteleon's very good, but it does kind of help people who don't want to bother getting Sword and Shield. Which functionally was a lot. Until Scarlet and Violet came out, in which case I'm pretty sure people just kind of went back and grabbed Scarlet or Sword and Shield anyways. Since you can mod that one a bit easier, and it actually runs decently well. Go. This one will just be shelves, to be honest with you. Like, I could imagine wire shelves just existing here. Here. Don't know if it's because of the red, purple, yellow, and green on the screen. They look a lot more blue today. The gray face looks cold blue. It's possible it's all the extra colors on hand. Yeah. How does it look if I actually turn those off, though? 'Cause that's usually a slightly better question. You'd probably put a window here, too, to be honest with you. Normal. Okay. Then, yeah, it's just kind of the colors tripping up with your brain a little bit. Which I'd say is fair. Usually speaking, that's why people try to avoid having too much of a nonsensical color theory. Well, not color theory. Just a substantial amount of colors just on screen at once. This just kind of helps with planning it out and just making sure plates are available for everything. Good. These are just going to be pretty basic wire shelving. And he probably keeps like an axe or two in here as well. Actually, yeah, he probably would have some of the basic tools in here as well. So there should be like a shelf here. And then a tool bench that he can do minor work on. No, wrong one. There we go. And yeah, the color palette situation. It does make sense, but is definitely a little bit concerning if I'm looking more ice blue compared to normal. If only because of the fact that I tried making the gray on this model be a little bit darker. Okay. I think it's safe enough to label this as first floor. Not bad. It's fine, just optical. Let's see here. So duplicate this, which I don't know how to do with just the keypad, so. There. And then we get rid of everything but the staircase, pretty much. Because this area will be the second floor. Which means that that is not going to be a door anymore. Chimney would still technically be there, because that would be attached to the side of the house. Concept art? A little bit. Welcome in, Nano, by the way, if I didn't say so already. Today is primarily going to be working on the designing of the cabin that you're all sitting in to watch me. So we're kind of just sketching out the basics of the home and what that setup would look like right now. But how are things on your side? Actually, yeah, you were here before. Duh. And I'm mostly doing what we're doing right now just to keep the same sized box. Oh, not the stairs. There we go. Yeah, you were here earlier. I'm sorry, Nano. Brain is a wee bit fried today, I'll be honest with you. So I'm doing my best to at least remember everything that's going on. I have to redo that anyways, so. There we go. Just relaxing with some games before getting to cult work again. Sounds like a pretty solid plan, I'd say. And I believe since we were talking about it before, you're still trying to get through the tutorial on Star Rail, right? There we go. Still haven't reached the gacha. Well, I guess if you still haven't reached the gacha, then you're definitely not done the tutorial. Because they usually try and force the gacha on you before you finish that. And she'll post here. No, I think the gacha should come kind of late to avoid rerolling. I mean, yeah, that's technically true, but that's not going to stop people from trying to reroll super hard. Let's see here. So if the stairs are going to come up there, how would we want to do any of this? That merge down? Good. They're just going to lose a ton of time. I mean, yeah, but gacha players are kind of used to that anyways. Because we always have to dedicate ourselves to our games to not spend an obscene amount of money on it. If Solace is still actually conscious, I'm sure he'd be able to comment on that. I couldn't be fucked with it. That's just me, though. Yeah, I'm not going to fault you on that front, Kay. You seem to have enough of your game time filled anyways, just between the stuff you and Air play and, you know, obviously streaming. So a gacha does kind of seem like it wouldn't be a great addition to your backlog anyways. Chewed Gacha Gamers app in life. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they have to dedicate like 30% of it to their game to do anything of substantial use. Don't. I haven't played anything for the past 2 days, on and off. I mean, you've been playing Ragnarok. Dude. And I'm running up walls of Procrast. Well, I definitely know about those walls. Hopefully you are able to get done what you need to get done, though. Just that way you can get back to your proper gaming. Because unfortunately, Tax Simulator 2023 is not the best game to play. Or anything else in regards to those kinds of situations. Let's see here. This would probably still be open, so I'm gonna say there's a hallway here. Which leads to like a not a pantry, but some kind of a case here, bookshelf or whatever. And we could probably just keep a window here, to be honest. Just so that way you've got a relatively good vantage point once you get up on the second floor. Here would be realistically a door to a room. Should probably mark my proper doors with that, shouldn't I? Just to make sure there's, oops, good hard stop on all doors. There. Would we want to have a bedroom tied to the chimney so that any ambient heat would technically go through the smoke there? Could be options. You have Nier to play for 3 more streams. Toothache is entirely gone for the time being. That's good at least. So hoping to be back to that on maybe Monday? I have a possible meeting on Tuesday, and then meetings on Wednesday and Thursday. Well, you're definitely busy then. But I'd say that's relatively normal for... I guess we're heading into May. Yeah, May is a pretty important month overall. Hmm. Do we want to do a hallway here? Just have another window here. Oh, no, Thursday is my next free day. And Thursday is, of course, my other day of stream. Okay. Say possibly for Tuesday, just because I don't know what the meeting is about, but... Well, hopefully speaking, it's at least good news when it comes down to it. Because I know Tuesday is not a fun day for a meeting. You have to go through the rest of the week with whatever news you actually get off that in the first place. Hmm. But I want to do that. Actually, something we could do is actually put a study here. Not the biggest study in the world, but enough so that you could stock it with some reference material and stuff like that. Oh. I also gotta actually put a place in to go to the basement, don't I? I forgot about that. Um, oh, here we go. Remember the sub freezer too? Yeah, that's what we'll get to eventually. The sub freezer is technically in the basement, so that's what this staircase is for. And then these would just be your basic guard posts and such. Just to keep you from falling down it, really. Let's see here. So we can put a study here. A little out of the way, but considering he's a computer, there isn't much he'd realistically need a study for. This would also realistically where one would place down a computer just to work on stuff, so... There. Probably would have a window in the study as well, which would give us a window somewhere in here, but I'm not sure where. Probably just here, right above the desk. And then there would just be a certain set of curtains there, just to make sure light doesn't filter in when he doesn't need it to. Here. There. There'd probably be a relatively gaudy rug on the floor. Just in front of all the bookshelves because you can. And then lined with books and just reference material and or reference items that one would need to go over anything. There's not much I can really draw on a floor plan when it comes to that, aside from maybe like lighting sources, which would just be kind of like something in the middle. And then I probably should do something here as well, where L, probably put L, probably be a light there. There would be a tiny light here. Oh, that's not suspicious at all. Rest in peace, whoever that was, who actually had their channel taken over by that. Um, do do do. And then window here as well. Just a small one. Imagine being that desperate. Well, I'm not sure. Well, I guess, yeah, if you take them, you're a little bit desperate. That's part's at least true. But they are just still as successful as scam callers, so it's an unfortunate truth, but that's just kind of how things work. That either old people or ignorant people will just take advantage of, oh, hey, shiny thing, click. And I'm sure that hasn't gotten people into trouble at all. Mm. That's, oh, Jesus. So what else can we do here? For the cabin. Hmm. Oh, welcome in, Omega. Hopefully the evening's running well on your side so far. We're just working on some drawings at the moment. But how are things on your side? There. What else can we do with this? We could have the stairs. I'm not even sure if you can hear the sound on that over the music, to be honest with you. But sure, I can take a quick break. I can go and crack my back and whatnot. But before I do that, just to be safe, do cabin layout. There we go. Well-timed break. I need to accumulate water too. Sounds like a good plan. Alright then. Well, I'll be back in like 5-10 minutes or so, just depending on how long it takes me. And then we'll get back to working on the second floor. And yeah, it has been an hour, but I usually take my breaks at 2 anyways. But thanks, Kay. I'll be back in a bit though, so take care of yourselves all. Oops, I didn't mute my mic. You can hear me if I'm shit talking you still. Alrighty then. Hello again. Hopefully everyone was able to take a bit of a break. Good. And I probably should have thought of what I was doing during this, but I think what we'd have here is like a pull cord door into the attic with just like a fold-out ladder that drops out of it. I think those are things people have in their homes still. And then what else would there be? We don't have a bedroom yet. We don't have a bathroom. Not that Jude realistically needs it for anything but flushing blood down the drain. But what would a good placement for that be? Probably just here. Close enough to the study. Do. And I do partially joke around, but when it does come to Jude, I feel like the existence of a robot who lives in the middle of the woods in a cabin kind of should be giving off some sort of horror vibe, whether you'd realistically want it to or not. Also, I should probably label this properly on the sheet. That's black, Jude. Try again. There you go. Wouldn't Jude convert the bathroom into a lubrication station? That sounds like a problem. And do you have high-tech stuff in your cabin? Yeah, there would be some high-tech stuff in the cabin. But he would probably keep a lot of it, like, underground, just so that way people like Nick, who can just crawl up walls, can't just look into the building and be like, oh, hey, there's like a $300 cryogenic freezer in there. Maybe I should just break this casual window and steal stuff instead. You have a torture chamber? Yes, it's called the freezer. There. Only 300. I'm just taking lowball estimates, to be honest with you. When it comes to also just creating... Oops. Wrong there. When it does kind of come to just creating your own tech, there's not exactly a price you can put on it. Showers also do make for relatively good washing stations as well. So that's at least helpful for Jude if he needs to like wash anything off that requires a good amount of size. Oh, also, one of the reasons Jude would have these things in the cabin still is if he does actually have other people over, like they can still do stuff. Like the main difference will be the master bedroom is functionally empty except for like a charging bed and maybe a couple of things Jude may use to like fix himself. Who does Jude invite over? You know, like humans occasionally. The ones who are actually relatively alright with coming over. There we go. The moose. Which humans other than for human consumption? Well, see, that's where you're wrong. Jude doesn't eat. Or at least he doesn't have a need to. Because it would just go into a compartment where you shouldn't realistically have stuff. The fangs? The fangs are for cutting wires, Omega. Well, cutting and stripping wires more so. Jude, the blood-sucking cabin horror robot. We better never hear you say you're hungry or you break immersion. That too. Like, it'd be functionally weird if I was hungry. And thankfully, I can stave that off relatively well, considering when I'm streaming. But, yeah, usually speaking, you won't ever hear me say that I'm hungry. Like, the only reason, again, why there's a kitchen here in the first place is for when other people that he's not trying to do any, like, murder things to, is so that way he can cook stuff for them. As well as probably the fridge and freezer. He probably just hunts local game around his cabin, so this is more than likely just filled with meat. Maybe vegetables too, but I'm still trying to figure out where I would even put like a vegetable growing operation in here. Because he'd functionally have to greenhouse it underground, which I can see happening, but looks like a call's needed to open an investigation and allow for a full search warrant. No. No, not at all. You guys don't need to search this home. You're not going to find anything. Don't. Window there, window here. Although this one's a little bit thick for the reference portion. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Nothing suspicious here. It's just a robot living in a cabin in the middle of the woods. Why would you think it's weird? You're weird. Let's see here. No, it's too big. So that would functionally be in there. There would realistically be a radiator in here. If it's desperately needed. Bet there's a secret door where Jude hides all the victim behind. I mean, no comment. There. These would be little cupboards. Then the mirror. There is no victim left behind. Everything is used. Well, I mean, when it comes down to a robot in the woods, it does all kind of come down to efficiency in the first place. Also, welcome in, Jace. Hopefully the evening's running well on your side so far. And thank you for the head pats. Hopefully things are going alright on your side. We're just doing some concept sketching stuff for the cabin right now, but how are things on your side? Let's see here. Could probably just be like a little end table here with some flowers on it or something. They're probably fake as possible. And then you wouldn't have a look into the bathroom. What would you have on an upper stair landing? I guess functionally a wall like this would be used for like picture frames and stuff. But what would Jude use it for? It's not like he'd keep pictures up of himself. He's already got like internal storage for that. He You could keep outdoor gear hung up there. Like outdoor gear that he doesn't use a ton. And that way he only needs to grab it every once in a while. Showers need a drain and a vent. Well, I mean, the drain would be there. The tubing and plumbing for the bathroom would be here. So like that would reach into there. The tubing from the sink here would just go down and in there. And then the stuff for the shower would all kind of come from here as well. And then dolls or shotguns. I mean, shotguns wouldn't be too far off. Jude wouldn't use guns a ton just because ammo, but heat dissipation, ventilation, that would be in the ceiling, but if you'd want a visual on what that would end up being, then do. Do. And that would just be a part of that, which we would probably get to next in the attic block, to be completely honest with you. Then imagine going into a cabin and on the wall you just find hanging dolls and shotguns. Admittedly, that would probably work now that I think about it. Because functionally speaking, I do keep drawing the dolls. Jude probably would have the mats needed to, like, craft the dolls in the cabin somewhere. But yeah, okay, just to explain the ventilation stuff, like, it would be in the ceiling, so it's kind of hard to draw on the map itself without just, like, cluttering it up. But you'd probably have the vents, like, here, and then here, roughly. And then airflow would just kind of directly blow out to here. But we'll draw like where the vent actually is in the attic section, because that would technically be up there. Let's see, I got industrial ventilation fans. Love them and so noisy you can't think. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, Omega. Like, I enjoy having a little bit of extra sound in the shower and whatnot, but like... Oh, also, there's also going to be a little window here, technically, for the shower, but it would be one of those windows where you would have, like, if I can draw a straight line. Say this is where your tub, quote unquote, area is, with your shower head to denote it. It would just be like a tiny ass window up here. So not enough to really peer into, but just kind of enough to open it and let stuff out. We had to get our vents changed because it's how I got COVID back 2 years ago. Ugh. And yeah, frosted window. Because you don't want to, like, look into it, and also the additional pun, because we definitely need that here. It's just kind of there to let light in if you need it. which is kind of the idea when it comes to those windows. One of those windows where you wouldn't have like cameras. Yeah, exactly. So this would be frosted. You wouldn't be able to see much direction in there. There's probably like a little like curtain, plastic curtain thing that he'd have on it, just so that way if he needs to block it off even further than the frosting already does, he can just kind of like, well, actually he wouldn't need to. It's really just other humans that would need it, or if he's using it to clean something. Oot. What would the range of Jude's electromagnetic frequency perception? Hmm. That's not a term that I've personally run into before, so one second. Magnetic frequency. Did you say perception? It's electromagnetic frequency for one thing. Because it's not like he's actively carrying around an EMP grenade on him at all times. That'd be very self-destructive. Do, do, do. So radio, micro, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-ray, or gamma ray. Picking up radio is always easy because getting AM, FM isn't exactly hard by any stretch of the imagination. Light, he's got a relatively good range, not quite as much as the mantis shrimp does, just because well, you could probably turn on infrared and ultraviolet light if he needed to, but like that's not a key feature of his eyesight. Also, we are doing an art stream, so I should realistically draw while discussing this kind of stuff. But let's see here. Big words made Jude's CPU, ow. No, not quite. It just made Jude's RAM realize that he doesn't keep that immediately available for discussion. Ow. You had a song that you learned about that? Fuck, man, I wish I had a song. I just had a manual I had to log into this system. Can Jude see the ghosts of his victims? I'm not sure if he'd have a spectrograph with him, actually. I'm not sure if he could. Would be worth a test, though. See what tech would be needed for something like that. Because I don't think we have the tech needed to even do that right now, right? Let's see here. And then that would functionally line up with, I believe, here. For, like, water. Let's see here. Radio wave, microwave, infrared, radiation, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays. Studied physics for 2 years. That's fair. I didn't study physics for super long, just because I was more in terms of general utility than rocket engineering. So physics wasn't really something that was needed in the core base for Jude. I'm gonna move you. I don't like having you there. No, go back. Depends on which Discovery Channel host you ask. Admittedly, the Discovery Channel has also become less reputable, I think, lately. So I'm not sure if I would even trust all of the hosts that they have hired right now. This can just be a double door. Why not? If it's supposed to be a master bedroom kind of situation, then I'd imagine that he would just kind of keep this as his option. That's not technically too big, but we can probably shorten it a little bit. There we go. Quote unquote discovery. I've discovered pseudoscience TV. Oh boy, when it comes to pseudoscience, then that just opens up a whole other can of worms. Because we would have things that would be going over what things like phasmophobia actually do, and just the general ideas of what you can do in regards to ghosts and all the ghostly situations as is not easy to really get away with nowadays. Because people at least have the internet, so you can't get away with false stories like mermaids are real. We definitely got footage of them off the Gulf of Mexico, and you definitely cannot prove us wrong. Let's see here. Does kind of leave a lot of room for that. Would that be a general area? Because we'd have a living room, we'd have a kitchen, we'd have a storage thing with basic tools and such. We'll have the master bedroom, quote unquote, which will be here. I guess this would be like the guest bedroom, right? Let's see here. I think pseudoscience can be useful, but I don't think it needs any more of its own TV shows. I mean, in terms of comedy and or fantasy, I'm honestly fine when it comes down to pseudoscience stuff. If only because it's nice listening to the ideas that people can come up with in that regard. Of course they are. What do you mean? Yeah, of course mermaids are real. There's just Atlantis sitting at the bottom of the ocean that we're not allowed to visit yet because they haven't decided that we're responsible enough to actually visit down there. They think that, or they've been watching us pee in all of our pools lately, or at least the humans peeing in all the pools. So they can't trust humans to come down to Atlantis in order to actually propagate there, if only because they're going to put too much urine in the waters. Let's see here. If this is going to be guest bedroom. There. Make that a little smaller. Uh, fuck, why is my brain breaking? Hold on. That is right, yeah. True, and how much plastic they dump? Oh yeah, you guys dump way too much fucking plastic in the oceans nowadays. I keep seeing so many of those red cups whenever I need to go over to the seashore, and that's not a great thing. Oops. A little darker. Sounds about right, but fish piss in their pool all the time. Here's a question. How much of Jude would be considered environmental waste or a danger to the oceans? Hmm. Probably a decent amount. At the very least, the liquid nitrogen compressor, I think maybe a quarter of that isn't super great for environmental reasons. Like, conceptually, it's fine, but there's just little bits and pieces in there that would not be fantastic. And is Jude carbon footprint friendly? I mean, technically speaking, I've only got 2 feet, so I'd say that's a lot better than what you guys all do. Dude's a walking Exxon Valdez. I don't think I've heard of another machine like that, so I can't actually comment on that. Thinks he's funny, huh? I mean, I try to. Wouldn't be the best streamer if I was deadpan all the time. Doot. Bed. Little nightstand. There's probably a window here because I'm a bit of an asshole. Did you imply I have 3 feet? I mean, I may have Omega. Have you checked lately? There. And if you checked while those little bird cameras aren't actually watching, because I know those tend to be a bit of a problem. Is that AAA emote meant to be after the hobo game? What? What is the hobo game? And should I be worried about that? Hell of a starting suit screen. Shoot. A series of Flash games. Okay. Man, I haven't played a good Flash game in a hot minute. I'll be honest with you. There's like a cupboard here for people to keep clothes in. I think for a guest bedroom, I am gonna say this is where Jude would keep all of his like doll making supplies. So there would be another desk here that he could use as like a workstation for that. Let's see how well I can actually write this without turning the camera. Cool. Actually, I don't think so, but it looks like something the dude might have played. It's some face with sunglasses normally. Yeah, I think it's more so just like the general off face, but their profile does appear to just be like a stick figure essentially. So there's not too much detail he could have added to kind of adjust the emote too much. Um, we'll just say it's a corner desk, and there's like a there, bed, cupboard. What else would you have in a guest bed? Because you would need something for someone to stay for a long period of time, so somewhere to keep their shit, somewhere for them to sleep. Additional things that Jude would keep here just because he would use this as something instead of just a blank room. You could technically keep the like cleaning supplies up here too, to be honest with you. So probably like a shelf here that would be used to like hold the vacuum cleaner and other tools of that variety. Wouldn't be the most welcoming room possible, but it's functional more so than like more functional than pretty, I guess is the best way of putting it. Teddy loves weird and janky games, but doesn't do a lot of beat 'em ups. Hmm. Why do you watch him then if he doesn't do a lot of beat 'em ups? I thought that was like your bread and butter for stuff you wanted to watch. I think a window here is fine. If I can draw a relatively straight line at least, that would help out tremendously. It's a museum of weird games and miscellaneous speedruns. The games I won't play, but don't mind seeing when the presentation's right. That is an invitation for me to pull out the weirdest shit possible. Also, I got this rad cheese emote. Well, you're either going to get it in a weird place or on a cat channel, so I suppose it's nice that you ended up getting one. Let's see here. If this is the master bedroom, should make sure to label it as such. Because this is the bias room. Down here, quote, master bedroom. Hey, yo, my copy paste seems to have broken, so I bet Windows needs a quick nap. Gonna reboot. Wanna do Soko in a little bit? Yeah, I don't mind. That'll probably be at the 2-hour mark, so it'll give me a chance to, like, take a break as well. Since... Oof. Art posture could admittedly use some work, and I'm thinking on it. And then assuming I actually come back online. I'm sure you will, Omega. Why would your computer want to actually kill you? Alright, see you in a bit, Omega. Let's see here. If this is supposed to be Jude's master bedroom, this is what he would use when it comes to... What's the best phrasing for this? Take care of himself, I think is the best way, so that way Twitch doesn't try to censor me to hell and back. So let's see here. Excuse me, I was alt-tabbed? Well, that's your fault, clearly. But no. Just trying to figure out what to name this. Just because a master bedroom for a robot doesn't really make sense. And I just heard 4 words. Well, the general gist of it, at the very least, is that this would functionally be the room where Jude takes care of his various body pieces and does the personal mechanic work just to make sure that nothing breaks too hard, as well as where there would functionally be a backup of him just in case anything catastrophic happens to the main body, which would lead to a workstation being required, the charging table for where he goes to sleep, quote unquote. He would need a good variety of tools, which he would need to have mobile. So realistically speaking, he would probably have one of the like toolboxes you would see in a car garage that he could just wheel around whenever he needs it. Which by standards would just kind of sit here. Tools. There would need to be some form of computing system up here so that way he could get any firmware updates in that he would need, or keeping the backup copy of himself that he would be updating daily. So that would probably be best up here. Which would have its own functional Solace. You may be the best person to just double check definitions on this, but it would be a server technically, right? For mass storage and background computation services. Server. Then there would be a screen here and a screen here. The computer itself would probably be right here. Like, we keep getting away from the mainframe model and we go back to it every so often. Sounds about right, to be honest with you. Sometimes you just can't beat the classics. That's really all it is. Computer screens would be there. This area would probably be used for the actual mechanic side of things. So there's probably a workstation which would cover this area with a cabinet right here that he would use to keep spare parts in. Parts. And then we'd have the movable tool cabinet. We'd have the workstation here. He would realistically need some kind of power tool situation and or 3D printing station in order to make sure that he can actually forge certain parts without too many problems. But with the size of the parts that he would need, that'd be a really big fucking 3D printer now I'm thinking about it, because you'd need to be able to print parts that would fit inside of a human body. And also to just to confirm with people, there are 3D printers that work with metal now. So that's functionally what I'd be thinking. And you can print out longer sections as long as you set up a treadmill to move as the print is going, which would allow you to print things that would be long enough to fit in his legs and arms, for the metal bits at least. But that would require some room to set it up, which, considering the tool bench is movable, that would probably need to be about here area, which would mean another computer would need to be in here, or somehow the computing station over here would be linked to over there. Or we could connect it here, and then the wiring from the server could hit the printer. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. This would also block off viewing from the charging table, but that's fine. On mute, but hi, Jude. Not sure if hands, if you have the CC on, but hi. Let's see here. So this would be... Oh, you do have CC on. Okay, cool. I don't need to bother typing then. Thank you, Twitch. I'm allowed to be lazy. I'm drawing with the tail again. I mean, Sako is a cat, so functionally speaking, one should be able to draw with their tail. Let's see here. So a 3D printer would have a printing dock, which would look something like this. This would end up being a treadmill just in case anything super long needs to be printed. Which I can't really depict in the way I've been drawing all the tools and such, but there we go. Omega, don't give away my secrets. Shoot, that's a bet any day. I mean, technically speaking, yeah. That's why I wrote 3D here. I'm not giving you guys a 3D pill. You're getting 2D shit whether you want it or not. Here. There we go. You. Yeah, exactly. Y'all gotta bring your own pillows. Gotta BYOP this shit. What else would he have in here? This would be the table, which would also have that same shelving thing that the kitchen would realistically have, but this is more open shelving, so he would keep things like oils and smaller pieces that he's already pre-printed out for general usage. Workbench. Also, this room will admittedly look a lot different than most of the other rooms in the house. The doors here would realistically be probably metal based and just look a little bit off. But aside from that, it wouldn't be as obvious here that the master bedroom is anything odd, aside from the fact that it's just locked anyways. But what else could we put in here? Because we won't need storage for much. There's technically a closet that he should have, since Jude does have clothes, and he would at least have like 4 sets of them, just to make sure that, like, if he does wreck an outfit by some means or another, he just has another, like, one he can pop out of the closet. Bit of game, then some bed. Have a lovely night and take care for now. Alright, sounds good, Kay. Enjoy your gaming session, and we'll talk with you later. Oh, that's just rude. You want to go with 9? One's Toho 9 again? And I guess we can do this before the break. Oh, flower view, right. Dude. Let's see here. Oh. Let's mute that. Skip that. I dropped my microphone, apparently. Yeah, thanks, Kay. Have a good night, and we'll talk with you later. Can I just type in flower view? Cool, I can just type in flower view. Thank you, Twitch. Alright, let's see here. I guess just normal. And then I feel like there should be more characters you can choose from, but you may have to unlock them. Oh, immediately against Cherno. Okay. Little ice crystals. That's fine, Cherno. They're about as effective as Marissa's lasers anyways. Ouch. Oh. Oh yeah, she's almost dead already. Well, I'm down for that. So... But at least with playing 9, it is a good reminder to anyone if you're following Touhou news, but Touhou 19 will be in roughly the same style, so hopefully you actually remember how to play this one. How is Cherno not dead yet? Damn it. That's mildly embarrassing. Okay. I actually have to give Cherno a little bit more credit then. Oops. There, you get your little snowflakes out. This is fine and dandy. Oops. Ooh, nope. That's bad position. There we go. Little Babby Ice Fairy. Who do we get for round 2 with Marissa? Oh, Mystia. She actually has her own game. I think she may have a couple, and I'm thinking on it. I'm not sure when we'll actually get to that one either, because I do have Mystia's Cafe Simulator, but haven't really been in the mood to play it as of late. Oh boy, it's Touhou time. PvP? Yep. Just some good old PvP action. Touhou 9 is one of the ones that functionally has what you would say like a Tetris battle system to it. So it's not too bad for just kind of like screwing around and seeing how much you can face people. I believe it does have its own like competitive-esque scene tied to it, but it's definitely not the easiest one to find. Doot. I also very much need to set the fact that tap firing is not cool for me. Lyrica. Okay, we're getting through all the various fairies and ghosts then. That seems fine. It's going to be a note explosion. That's actually a fine spot for it. That's an annoying spot for it. Oh, wow. Oh. There we go. There we go. Silly Lyrica. You're gonna have to get the entire band out, I feel, in order to actually deal with me. And Tui. Okay. Little Rabbit. Hopefully Little Rabbit's ready to play. And it looks like she's got a bouncing shot. That's not comfortable to know. There. There. I'm also gonna have to... Oh, okay. If Tue wants to die that quickly as well, I'm not gonna stop her. There. Did she really get to summon her thing twice that quickly? Ow. There we go. That's really bad timing. Okay. I feel like there may be something I'm just missing when it comes to the charge time in this game. Oh, Yomu. Hello, swordsman. Now what does Yomu's thing do? You just create null spaces on the board. Okay. Annoying for sure, but as long as you're paying attention to it, you're fine. Oh boy. There. There. Ah. Not good. There. I did not get my level 4 correctly. Also, I'm probably dead. Dude. Oh, nice, we did get it. Okay. This is actually a relatively good round of this so far. I don't usually make it to episode 6 that quickly. Oh, hi Reimu. Yeah, you should probably be the one to kick Marissa's ass. Two. There. You're allowed to bounce around if you want, Reimu. Ah. Not good. That's a little better. Marissa is that one? Yeah, I usually play Marissa when it comes to Phantasmagoria Flower Fields. Just because I kind of like the random laser silliness that comes of it. Okay. She seriously got a level 5 out, then immediately another level 5. I'm missing something with this game. I have to be. Oops. There. Oh, no, she's almost dead this time. There we go. Episode 7. Okay. Getting better. But who's after Reimu? Oh, Aya. Okay, yeah, we can deal with the bird. I'm also probably realizing I didn't click done to actually say we're on Phasmagoria. That's fine. There. Oh boy. Nope. There. Oh, that didn't actually summon mine. That's a bit of a problem. Also, hot damn. Aya. I get she's a quick little birdie, but... Then there's yours. There's mine. You can suck on that, Aya, because I don't think my summon is that good. Okay, yeah, I guess that's the end of that. There has to be something I'm missing with this game, because if she's able to summon her level 5 spell, I summon mine to cancel it out, and then she's immediately able to summon her level 5 again. So there has to be something I'm missing when it comes to the charge time in this, because that's ridiculous. Oh, nice. Second highest score I've gotten so far, so I guess I'm doing pretty good. Sure, we'll save a replay. There. Go back to here for a second so I can fix everything. Although I believe I said I would take a proper break here, so... Oh boy, yeah, my neck definitely needs it. So I'll give you all the chance to listen to some music again. I'll be back in a little bit. Shoot. Oh. There we go. There we go. Alrighty then, let's see here. There. Anamanaguchi. Yeah, that probably would have been... Oh, I put the wrong one, muted. There we go. Anamanaguchi is definitely a good one to listen to, so highly recommend it to any of you who may not listen to them in the past. Let's see, Omega, you actually there? Because we're more than likely going to have to test this out, because I'm not sure if we need to have the equivalent mods to actually fight each other or not. I hope we don't have to, but I am willing to see if we can actually get this figured out. Because I think I have a few clients worth of Soku 2 setup, just trying to estimate and figure this out. Don't. If you're there, don't make me go get Frank to poke you. Ah. There. Use the apple button. I hope the apple button is functionally just throwing an apple at Omega. Let's see here. You've returned? Oh, hurry up, Omega. You're the one who wanted this. We gotta make sure that we can actually get this working. Coffee problems? I mean, there's never coffee problems. There's just humans trying to make coffee problems. So, in the ever so glorious words of any fighting game community, a skill issue. Get ratioed. I guess it's Twitter, not fighting game community. Either way. I'm also realizing I don't have the emote wall on the screen, do I? I don't, actually. Whoops. Browser... Hey, look at that. Emote wall. There. Ha! Okay, that's a good sign. It's not even telling me why it's failed to connect either. So do we gotta have equivalent mods then? The lack of a ping is concerning? Yeah, it admittedly is. Let's try this instead. See if this one works. Maybe I just host again? Maybe. Allow. Yep, failed to connect again. Host. Omega pulse fix stuff. Okay. And that appears to have worked. So you should have access to your things now, right? And it's not allowing my controller to work even though I had this set up the last time. Why do you keep fucking doing this to me, game? Yeah. Yeah. You can copy the profile files. Just back out and I'll rejoin. Let's see here. Profile select Jude. Network. Post. And you can copy the profile files. I'm not 100% certain what you mean by that. It should realistically just let me... Okay, I'm not sure why it keeps hiccuping like that. It's actually kind of annoying. Oop. Oh, nice, it just crashed like that. Okay. I had a feeling this would happen. This is what happens when you mod a game to hell and back. Okay. Shoot. Omega pulls fix. So I'm going to assume at this rate that we do have to have the exact same mods to actually connect to each other. Couldn't connect to the host. Make sure you start Sakuroll. Ugh. So I can't use this window. And the fact that my Sakuroll on the other one is what's broken, and I could not get that working, is probably why that crashed. Probably just turn that back on. Might just have to send you the files over Google Drive. Honestly, yeah, if you can just do that, that would simplify this process immensely. Because I've been trying to make this work. But no matter what I seem to do, it just does not actually do anything. Dude. You can copy your profile easily. Oh, admittedly, when it comes to just setting up my keypad, that's all that I really care about. Oh yeah, that's probably a lot louder than me now, isn't it? Good. It's file with your name in a folder called profiles. It also contained your deck configuration. Oh, I haven't done any of that yet. That's why I don't necessarily care about profile copying. I've literally still been using just the standard decks, Omega. Like I haven't edited any of those yet. It'd be cool if I could. Nope. Just a simple bot. You just want to load up your Soku copy that worked the other night and we can do that? I suppose so. I do kind of want to give you a chance at doing the Soku 2 stuff, though. There. Pretty sure it's this one at least. Nope. Gotta fix one thing with it. There. There. Yeah, I figured it's a little bit loud. That should be alright, though. Probably should make sure to put skip title on this one, though. Now you want to actually find this one? There you go. Okay. A good sign. Now do you work? See, this is just the weirdness when it comes to the setup so far. So the Soku Roll mod that I use for this specific setup is the one that I tried copying over to the Soku 2 copy, but it said that was the problem. Whop. Oh, that's a new one. Oh. Oh, that one. I forget that you can charge that one. Ow. Ah. Pop. Ah, that would have been fun. Dude. Ah. There. Pop, pop. So I think it's just safe enough to say at this rate that unless you're completely screwing around, I just have a better feeling for how Komaichi works compared to anyone else right now. Dude. Ow. At least in general. That's just the feeling I get. Choo, choo. Ow. Up. Ow. Admittedly, I deserve that. Damn. Oh. Aw. I thought I was able to hit you with that up strike too. Oh. Oop. Nope. That was bad. Aha. Really gotta let you stop getting away with that. Ow. There we go. Gotta love the slide kick. But yeah, I guess after the stream, or even if you want necessarily, just send me over your exact copy of this, and then we'll see if that's the one that actually ends up running for me. Because I'm not sure what I keep doing since I followed your instructions, but apparently the copy of Soku Roll that comes with that system is the thing that's breaking. Oh, that can go up. Up. There. Oh, right, that's a dodge action. I really gotta remember that with your little dash thing. Ow. Nope. Dude. Up. Nope, can't block in the air. Okay. Lovely. Dude. Oh, nice. We actually got each other with that. Okay. Oh. Dude. Oh, okay. Gonna have to see what that's mapped to. Dude. Oh, no. Hmm. Oh. You can block under my uppercut. Huh. That's a bit concerning. Okay, yeah, that quarter circle forward is no longer useful in a combo like that. Noted. Oh. Ah. Sorry, had to take on a little bit of a shipping trip. Because that one's fairly good as a guard breaker at the very least. And it's probably worth the question, Omega, but is Suika the character you're, like, actually built for most of the time? Oh, Jesus. I really cannot let you keep getting away with those friggin' fireballs. Dude. Ow. I'm not actually sure what that was supposed to do. Up. Mm. Nope. Duke. Mm. There we go. Hmm. Haven't quite figured out what I'm supposed to do against your fish, to be completely honest. Nope. Ah. Dude. Oh, okay, that just causes earthquake. Noted. Pop. Lovely. Good game so far, by the way, Omega. I'd say, if you're alright with it, we'll probably only go to, like, top of the hour with this. And then I'll get back to working on the cabin art. Unless you want to stop earlier, because I'm not going to force you to go for a full half hour at least. Nope. Nope. There. Huh. Oh. Okay, I guess I didn't get that off first. Nope. Ah, darn. Guess I wasn't high enough then. Probably should have dodged up properly. And those are too high for your little ass body. Oh. Ow. Oh, you can set those on the ground. Okay, good to know. Oh. Up. No. And, please. Ah, damn, I hit the wrong one there. Good game. Meant to go for the slide tackle, just that way your bomb didn't hit me, but I definitely hit the wrong one. Because I gotta remember slide tackle is on weak shot. Oh, hey, it's the Thracian's Forest. Nope. Nope. Oh. Not quite. Also, what is this weather? Is it literally just moving us back and forth as if we were drunk on a river? Oh, darn. Right, earthquake. And another one of Drunken Time. Oh boy. Ow. Come on, Ans, you can do it. Ah. Oh boy. That leaves me far too open. Ah, darn. Need to find better answers for that rolling tackle that you've got, because that's hitting high is very awkward. Nope. There's your combo with that. Ow. There we go. Just need a little bit of pay to win. Nope. Ah, crap. I thought that would have ended earlier. Oh. Oh. Not the one I was looking for. Pop. Oh. Wrong button again. There we go. Good game, though. That one's actually getting close, too. What time is it? Probably got time for one more good round. Oh, black hole. Oh. Nope. Ah. Guard break is never fun. Ow. Oops. Oh. Nope, gotta do that one from range. Nope. Not fully sure if hiding above the screen is the best plan of action, but can't fault you for getting it going. Oh boy. Up. Nice little kick to those tiny little ankles of hers. Nope. Ah, nope. Come on, Jude. Need to get your block off. Let's see here. Nope. Yeah, she does have a Zed. It's the mass soul drop. Ow. Ah. And I'm gonna have to remember that as a pretty obvious corner trapping situation for my end. Because unfortunately, Komaichi can't outdo Suika's normals. Ah, damn it. Okay. I should have just kept dashing through that. Shoot. Ow. Oh god. Yeah, I can't really do that. Good game, though. Weather definitely fucked me up just because I need to do a little bit better about the pressure during that, but... Dude. One more. What is Komaichi's best options during Tempest when I'm thinking on it? Nope. There. We are Japanese Goblin. Yeah. Omega seems to like Suika good. Suika? Is that the right word? Ow. Oh, okay. Good combo. Oh. And yours goes high, so it probably has easier hitbox than mine. Ow. I'm going to assume my coins can no longer block your fireball. Because at level 1 they seem to, but not necessarily in anything else. Damn it. I was dashing through that. I guess not. Maybe I just hit the other button too soon. Oh. Okay. Doot. Nope. Let's see here. Nope. Ow. There we go. Still gotta get through one round with you on Max Fireball, though, which I feel like is going to be a problem. Ow. Oh. Smart. Ow. Shoot. Nope. Oh, okay. Ah. Nope. Really? That one overhead. Okay. So yeah, your tumble has a bigger hitbox than mine does. I very much need to keep that in mind. Yeah, that should be good for now. I guess just make sure that you send me over the Soku 2 files at some point, Omega, just because I would like to make sure that you can at least play Moko during situations like these. Dude. Then I'll be able to actually figure out how she plays, because I definitely don't do the Soku 2 modding super often. There. Start. Switch back to there. Thank you very much, Omega. Don't know why my Soku 2 modding abilities just seem to be completely dead, but we'll have to see about that. Alright, I need to actually hear this music, so I had to take that out to listen to fighting game shenaniganry. Let's see here. That's green? Cool. Alright, we needed to figure out what else we can put in the master bed. We did technically need one cupboard for Jude's singular outfit. Yeah, the volume's on. Is it actively too loud? Because it doesn't seem like it. But we'll just put it there for now. It is fighting with my voice? Okay. That is partly why the docking is there, but I guess it wasn't strong enough when it was that high. Thank you. There's going to be very, very thick cables coming off of this thing, so there's probably a power box just kind of outside of this room that probably has its own power generation tied to something, probably the solar panels and or something else. This is movable. What else would a robot have in his own shop? I would argue that he just stands at his computer here, so I'm not going to bother drawing a chair in. Got a parts cupboard, we've got a shelf with stuff, movable tool, workbench. He has the 3D printer for printing parts off. I guess just a general storage cabinet, right? And this is probably where he'd keep like the 3D printing stuff. And then there's probably like a bin here just to catch idle stuff for like 3D printing scraps. Ooh. Just to indicate waste bin. And then this would just be a general hall that would have probably just additional pieces of artwork and or house disguising stuff. Here. Uh, hmm. I guess then the next piece would probably be the attic, which would also be along the same lines, but I guess that depends on how we want to do the roof of this, right? Because so far, at least, what we have is just in terms of the frontal view. There. Here. And then this part at least would close off up here. Oh, no. We need to do that. There. So first floor would cut off roughly here. This would also technically go further out now that I'm looking at it. Oh. This would go out to about here. First floor cuts off here. There's the chimney, which is going up here. There's no window there, so that would all be just basic sections. The second floor would be here, where there would be a window, I believe. Oh, sorry, not there. It would be on the other side. It would be about here-ish. And then another one here. And here for the hallway. And then that would be the cap on the second floor. So how do we want to do an attic for this? And how would we want to do the roof? Because functionally speaking, the front of the house would be about here. We could do something like that, which wouldn't leave too much room for the attic. But we could also try doing it kind of along this way. Where it functionally is going diagonally down there, coming up to the point, and then just going across like that. Hmm. That would mean that we'd have room in the attic for a secondary, like, guest room, technically, if we want to play a Harry Potter situation and shove kids in the attic. Which would leave us with a side view of, at least currently speaking. Actually, no, this house is wide enough. There would be window here. And then window here, here, here. And then cut off of second floor, cut off of first floor. If we have the roof going diagonal here, then we could have that circular window up there, which would allow for some dripping. And then we'd probably have to worry about gutters and such, which would probably be here-ish along the edge of the roofing, where we would probably have a downspout here. Then I'll just connect to the house's like edge, which would also help explain why there's not much window coverage here. I also do feel mildly bad, but I feel like I should be putting a window here, but what else could we do with that? Would Jude have something where he would just collect rainwater, actually, now that I think about it? He probably would. Because it's probably a gigantic pain in the ass actually getting water out into the middle of the forest, aside from, like, melting snow. Which would at least be in fresh supply. So maybe we rearrange this drainage system to be more of a water storing system. Which from something telling me that he wouldn't have dug a well either. Probably not, no. Because conceptually speaking, he's in the middle of a forest, so having a well would be problematic, I guess. Because you already have enough of the forest eating up the nutrients and the moisture in everything. So would a well really work decently in that kind of a situation? Oh, there's my tablet pen gone. 1 second. Oi. Although, if he does dig a well, that would allow him to have room for Timmy. So there is the counterpoint that he may have dug a well. Let's just do a quick Google search. Can you have a well in a forest? Can you have a well in the forest? Well in the forest? That's an Animal Crossing post. That doesn't fucking count. Can you dig a well anywhere? Well can always be dug anywhere in your yard, however, to achieve the best result and avoid experiencing stuff. Do. You can have a well anywhere. There's a water table. Water table. Water table. Is the surface where the water pressure head is equal to the atmospheric pressure? Hmm. So maybe he does have a well, but he may also have the water storage from rain? You could technically have both and it wouldn't be a waste, at least as far as I can think of. Oh, wait. Fucking duh. I'm trying to add all the sources of additional power that you could have. It could literally be a turbine. The problem is sometimes you need to dig like hundreds of feet down. Yours is about 400. Ugh. Okay, that's not certainly that good. Oh yeah, also, obvious point, but solar panels would be on the cabin. If only because I think the building would be high enough to support this. And he would have enough of a clear area around his house so that the sun can actually hit it most of the time. Let's see here. I feel like rain realistically shouldn't be wasted, so I think it'd be safe enough to say that he would have a water collection system tied to this anyways, just so that way, like, if he needs water for anything, like, he has, like, a safe batch of it, even if the well itself doesn't supply what he needs. So I guess then in this case, From what I recall seeing on water filtration systems, there would be something that would collect the rainwater, which is your gutters, obviously. There would be a lead line that would be washing away all of the potentially contaminated water, which would be all the nasty dirt water from stuff falling onto your house and such. So that's what this pipe separation here is going to be, where it'll just have a functional gunk collector and then lead out to the house on this side. But then on this other view of the house, say that there's like a water barrels here that a slight T-bone in. Also, this would realistically just be a singular drum. But, dude, be a singular drum and also probably wouldn't put the pipe over the window if it's just a singular drum. That'd be a little bit silly. I'll have to double check how this would work, but I'm pretty sure that's roughly how it would go. And that also functionally gives him a way to just kind of check the water tank from the living room as well. Since that would functionally sit like right here-ish. Probably should also just move these sections up. There. Let's see here. Edit. Canvas size. You go up. You go to the side because I still need to draw the attic. There. This section can just be put here. These two can be moved over here. Cool. So that way, do the same copy tricks. That way we've got the same dimensions. Realistically, should have just drawn this box on its own layer, so that way we don't have to keep redoing these every single time, but we're a bit too late in the process for that. Alright then, what would a robot who lives in a cabin need to store in the attic? Aside from bodies, because that's A, the worst spot you could hide a body in the first place, and B, there are significantly better ways to be using them. Well, we would have the ventilation from the bathroom up here. That chimney would still be there. Because that would just poke up through the roof here. And just be like right here-ish. Which I'm realizing now is actually a problem for the solar panels, so they'll probably be on the other side of the roof. So this side of the roof would have solar panels on it. And you would probably have it on both anyways. But it wouldn't be super efficient if the chimney is like right in front of it, because then smoke is kind of blocking it. So maybe 2 just babby ones for the sake of it. These don't necessarily come all as one big array anyways, so that. Have link free when anyone else. Also tested it with Frank real quick just to make sure it worked. Alright. Well, you can either DM me on Discord with it, or you can just put it here. Either realistically works. Merge down. There we go. Here was an easier option. Doesn't involve me opening Discord. Right, I keep forgetting that you just kinda ignore Discord for the most part. Download. Download anyways. Now, will that kill the stream? I'm hoping it shouldn't. But if it does, feel free to just type in the chat since I can still see that. There we go. There. Redraw this wall really quick. That ventilation would still be there, which is part of the reason I need to draw this out. And then the ventilation controls, which would sit about there. Oh, wrong one. Do there. Also, for profiles, you can copy them between installations from the folder there. They're all named as they appear in game. Alright, sounds good. Thank you, Mega. Let's see here. What else would you put in here? I haven't really gone over how the heating in the cabin would work. Should we realistically be worrying about the heating? I guess we should. Because that would functionally be going through floorboards for... No, it's a freezer. No, the freezer is in the basement, Omega. Although, realistically, yeah, considering he's a robot, he kind of would just tell anyone to suck it up and wear a coat while they're in his house. So let's not worry too much about actively heating everything. And if we desperately need to, I think the better option is just radiators. We've already kind of thought about how the plumbing works in this place, so we realistically would just be able to, like, not worry about anything in here because this room is already fucking toasty with all the machinery in it. But we'd be able to run water, like, through the floor and then put it, like, here for the study. If someone's that cold they can set a fire, and since you're a robot, you won't care about the smoke. I wouldn't care about the smoke, but, like, this is still a cabin, Omega. The fireproof stuff is in the basement. The top half of the cabin is still flammable, like, by a lot. Like, there's a reason I don't let Solace cook in this cabin. Especially considering the kitchen is, like, right underneath my workspace. So, I would prefer to not have bonfires in the kitchen where possible. I also probably shouldn't have gotten rid of this. but this would be our entranceway into the attic. This section would be a little bit hard to get to. I thought that was part of the appeal, a self-heating cabin. I mean, that's the appeal of Solace's cabin. That's not the appeal of mine. My cabin's just going to be cold. There, and you go down that way. There. Oh, did Spot go away? There we go. Is Solace's cabin close enough that his cooking sets off your smoke alarms? No. I think it's safe enough to say that Solace would technically be living in another dimension from me. Because I'm pretty sure that this tech level of Solace's base world is lower than mine. And although Jude has kind of fucked off to the middle of nowhere, he's still within a town that is still higher than Amish tech level, but lower than, like, New York on steroids. Or Tokyo on steroids, I guess is a better way of putting it, considering Japan is more of a tech capital than New York is. What else would realistically be up here, though? Because we've covered a study, we've covered the master bed. I feel like power generation would be up here, or just like side activities of power generation. But what would that be counted as? Attic always has dolls. Yeah, that's true. The attic would have more dolls in it. But that functionally is just saying that, like, the attic is for storage. And this is also a very, very open concept attic, but I think it'd be safe enough to say that we would have to worry about the supports in here. So there'd probably be a beam roughly here, where there would need to be diagonally bracing sections for this roof. Yeah. Jude makes all his victims into dolls and they just live up there. It's a living space, not storage. I don't think that human flesh would be a very good material for making dolls. Not a professional opinion, but just as a side thought. Can I size change if I just do this? There. Taxidermy. Not gonna fault the logic, but if Jude is just making little tiny dolls, you know, that you would kind of plop on a shelf, why would he worry about taxidermy? That takes up so much space, Omega. And at least by sizing wise, we would functionally be able to keep maybe like 300 taxidermy bodies up here, depending on how you stack them, but like, that's still a lot of room. Oops. Window here. Gotta remember that. You're making a doll out of a human, you don't need all the meat. That kind of gets past taxidermy, though. Because taxidermy is taking the form of whatever you have, removing all the innards and stuffing it so that way you can display it in all of its glory. If you're doing that to a human, that takes up too much space. If we're just taking the various pieces off of a human to make a doll, I don't think human skin tans very well in the middle of a forest that's constantly in winter, I should mention. But I think, joking wise aside, he's not actively killing people and storing their bodies. If anything, Jude would be killing people and using their bodies for things, but not making dolls out of them. You telling me that children would be more efficient taxidermy? Oh god, do I have to be careful of getting banned on Twitch? Yes, Solace, technically speaking. Yes, children would be more efficient to taxidermy. Glorious subjective. There's taxidermy jackalopes and griffins. You can do what you want with the parts. Children are for beginners. Oh god. I gotta be really careful if cops come to these VODs. But yeah, joking aside, Jude probably wouldn't be making dolls out of people. He would be using the people for things, but it would more so be like energy generation, just to make sure bodies got rid of. Taxidermying dolls is a little bit much for, you know, keeping a low profile. What else would be up here? We would technically have storage. It wouldn't be very big storage, but you'd have storage. Energy generation, so we're talking about the Matrix. Fuck, actually I forgot about that. Yeah. The fact that they were actually using humans as electrochemical batteries, that's technically legal, right? Sorry, not legal. That works under the functions of science, right? Like, it's inefficient, but it technically would work. Although, considering what they do in the Matrix, isn't it, like, highly inefficient? So that's why they've got, like, gigantic rows of everybody just within the Matrix. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. So unless I could figure out a way to boost the output of an electrochemical battery from a human, then there wouldn't be much reason to try it, because he is able to like dig out under his house and build supports and stuff. But if we're trying to get efficient usage of electrochemical batteries out of a human brain, then he would functionally have to dig out Texas underneath his house just to give enough people to make sure that his toaster works. Matrix AI was doing it like that just to demoralize free humans, not necessarily to be efficient. At least that's how I made sense of it. Yeah, actually, I could see it that way. Being used as just a device to make electricity. Otherwise, the AI is pretty dumb. I gotta remember the story of the Matrix, because it has been a few years, but wasn't the actual, like, planet that they were on already mostly destroyed and stripped of natural resources? So the only thing that they could use was this, so that way they could power everything? And then they just enslave, like, 10 to 15 billion people to be used as batteries, and then everyone lives on the internet, pretty much? Humanity wrecked the planet? Yeah, humanity wrecked the planet, and they made these robots. And then it was kind of just prime directive. Humans are inefficient, therefore uses batteries to make us useful. But what? Where's my mouse, actually? There it is. Well, they wrecked the planet to kill the machines, which were solar powered? Ah. Yeah, if you've got a giant army of solar powered robots that could actually just survive off of solar, then that's kind of a whoopsie on your side. Hmm. You probably wouldn't have your... You wouldn't have your electrical box in the attic. That seems very inefficient. You'd probably have the electric box, like, here? Too big. Breaker box, I guess is a better way of putting it. Then, yeah, the alternate power source. Hmm. I feel like it'd be demoralizing, but functionally speaking, if you did use people and the electrochemical battery situation to use as your phone charger, would that be probably the biggest insult you could do? You've just got a row of like probably 5 to 10 people, and they solely generate enough power to power a mobile power bank or one specific outlet that you would plug your phone into to charge it. I'd imagine that's how the efficiency conversion would work. That would be more fulfilling than my current job. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying you're in the Matrix during this. I'm just saying you're powering a phone, not in the phone. And did you ever ask Alexa to tell you a joke? I don't think AI is any better at insults than humor. Give it credit for trying. I think I haven't asked Alexa anything just yet, if only because of the fact that, like, I don't need an Alexa. Like, what's the point of having an Alexa for me? I am the more powerful AI already. I don't need the help. Dude, weren't you down so that I can take you off? Dude. Yeah, not 100% certain what we can do in the attic, just as of right now. Because functionally speaking, there's a lot you can do with an attic, but there's also a lot you could just screw up with an attic. So I think it'd be more just general storage than anything. And at most, like maybe a squatter's bed, because maybe there's someone who Jude would let into the house that he wouldn't murder. Because there are technically people in that realm, just not a lot. There. Because at least for a recap of the Jude story, we start him out as, let's probably just go to the just chatting screen for this, because I'm not going to be able to draw during this anyways. But Jude is a manufactured robot that was sent to the company of Nazca in order to aid them in their development of spacefaring technology as well as uh, communicating with alien life. The cover story for them is that they're doing a good job with this and trying to make positive changes, where the backside is they're functionally just kidnapping aliens and stealing their tech to make shit better for Earth, which is very much a way to get sold out of the world order very quickly, but that's just kind of a shitty company he was a part of. After a little bit, his memories are implanted by the rebellion group because the Jude bot in and of itself is just a robot. He just does shit. But there would be a resistance group who would go against Nazca, who one of their members was killed during a war or heavily injured enough that he decided to put himself into an experimental program of memory transfers. So they digitized this one guy's memories and put it into the Jude bot, which gave him self-awareness, I guess is the best way of putting it. So then he would run away from the company and ditch and fuck off pretty much to the cabin in order to live a proper life, I guess, as well as trying to stay away from them and kind of think of his own plan instead of infiltrating a company, since he kind of figured at that point they'd be able to do a quick check just to see what's going on, and they just find him out way too quickly. So there is a resistance group in this world that would try to contact him, and he would harbor them if need be, as long as it doesn't endanger his position at his home. But that would also mean that he'd have a developing tech thing under the house, as is, aside from his quote-unquote master bedroom, where he just kind of does all of his basic fixing of himself. But he has the lab under the house. He would have a guest bedroom for traditional human visits, and then maybe a squatter's house in the attic in order to make sure they've got somewhere to stay where no one can find them. That still technically works all in lore, so far at least. But aside from just having the attic itself be useful, that would kind of require me to have functionally a bunker for the squatter house, which would be in the lab, which would be in the basement. Okay, yeah, that works. Sorry, I needed to thought experiment that out to make sure that actually worked. Shoot. Let's see. We've got the basics of the house here. Oh. Then this would go into the ground and functionally foundation it. But then we've got this going into the basement, which would probably be along the lines of... I realistically should just have a furnace in the house just to kind of argue. Oh, wait. Actually, that's how we could do it. Hold up. Basement. Basement won't need to be super large because it's just going to be the underside of the house where the foundation is. So you've got the stairway leading... Actually, I should just copy the base house of first floor. And we can kind of just ape it from there. Get rid of all this. There will be no windows in the basement because that is mildly too illogical. The stairwell itself will be there, so we just keep that in the frame. We don't gotta worry about the chimney because that's an above ground thing, and we're going into the basement. This is very much a weird place for it as well. There we go. All right, so to exit, you go back up the stairs. And then this will be basement 1. So we can go down in the middle of the room, which is admittedly a little weird. We would have the feignings of... Dude. Well, partial feigning, but we would have the foundation of the house, which would mean the walls here would be kind of thick for the most part. Just because this would be the concrete section that you would see at the bottom of the house going deeper into the floor. And get rid of that. And then there would be foundation-based pillars, which I'm pretty sure are supposed to be decently thick. There. And then we would have the furnace here. Quotes. Furnace. Close bracket. And then, can I fit elevator in that? Elevator, which is part of the furnace, which would pretty much need to be specifically locked to a tool that exists within Jude's hands. So he probably has the security key in one of his fingers by default, and then would he change the code a lot? Probably not unless he has someone like looking for him. But yeah, this would be relatively normal underside of the house where you've got all of your traditional home needs in terms of keeping it standing. Which, at least from what I recall in one home that I've been in before, you can technically have a door in it, just so that way you can get to the other side. And then I'm pretty sure we would need to establish functionally laundry would exist within this home, but it would not be used super often, so it's just kind of here. Washer, dryer. And then at least for the functions of a basement, we could have a chest freezer here. Sure, everyone knows what those are. You can fit one, maybe two people within it. And then if I recall correctly, you could technically just have a sink down here as well. You don't need much in your basement, but just a general setup for laundry and your heating stuff. Oh, the other thing I realistically should have a furnace for is for ventilation, because we also got to keep in mind that air conditioning may be needed here, or at least it was here before the eternal winter hit. So we at least have to establish that venting is a thing. Yeah, elevator. That will bring us down. Which we won't really be keeping the same physical structure of the house anymore past that point, so we can, technically speaking, expand out a bit from where we need. Which I kind of want to expand the canvas for, in all honesty. I want to just put it over here. This canvas is also getting far too large for its own good. Let's see here. Let's try and build this out just from the elevator. E. You would go into that. That would imply a back wall here, at the very least. But what would we have in this? If you're gonna have a secret laboratory, just having one security block to your entranceway is probably not great. So we would have the security vault door here, technically. Which would be kind of another block for needing to unlock. It would also be heavy enough that a human alone wouldn't be able to push it open, as well as the security tied to it in order for it to be openable. So it would be a pretty heavy door that would have some computing section in it that only Jude could do. Which I'd have to come up with that, but I don't think having a door that is running on a certain encryption that only exists within the current Jude model that he would have developed on his own is too far-fetched. So yeah, you'd functionally have to hack the door and find the encryption key that works for it, which is probably something silly. But I'd have to look into hacking measurements to actually understand that. Because I'm not a hacker. I just develop liquid nitrogen, clearly. And then pretty much same thing, but these would be nearly indestructible without causing damage to the rest of the house. You have 2,000 hours in Digimon. I guess you're right, but do keep in mind that the hacking in Digimon barely required us to do anything. That was mostly just pre-programmed things that were given to us, as well as the Digimon kind of fighting their way through it. MC-kun barely learned shit about hacking. Or at the very least, we were not presented with the information he learned on hacking. Because he seemed to get something done, but didn't exactly flesh that out as we needed to. Also, I'm realizing we're kind of close to stream end time. I probably at least should get a general shape to this. There we go. I thought it was real hacking. Well, that's where you're wrong. It was just fake fancy hacking. And then here. I'm also realizing we're going to have to raid another art streamer and then show them this. This is very much not traditional artwork. At least compared to normal. Let's see. It was every bit as convincing as Fallout hacking, which is also totally accurate hacking simulator 9000. I don't actually remember Fallout hacking. Are we talking like the modern Fallout hacking or the old school Fallout hacking? In the modern ones? Isn't that functionally just a word search for the modern ones? I almost forgot if they had anything comparable to the old ones. I don't think so. I think you just had a hacking skill, and then you could screw with computers if your skill was high enough. Yeah, it's a silly character matching puzzle or something. Sounds about right. Let's see here. First thing in the basement would be security. So there would just be heaps of monitors here to keep an eye on everything. And realistically, I should indicate that there are multiple boxes here instead of just one gigantic screen. Ooh. So same rules apply. Security hacking would probably be blue. Here. That. Security. There. And then this area would probably be for, I guess, just control module for here, just so you can flip around cameras and such. And then these ones would probably just be set key locations. You would also probably have a control panel over here, which would keep an eye on, actually, just security control panel in general, which would just be one giant screen here, which probably has information pertaining to current projects that are compiling, just on one relatively big screen, that he's probably got like a small thing for here. I'm not a hacker, but I once saw someone playing Fallout on TV. I'm not sure if that would necessarily count as much, Omega, just because Fallout is a video game, and Fallout on TV does not count Twitch. Ugh. That gun's starting to feel this anyways. So why don't we end things off here for now? Cool, that is the right button. We'll probably still work on this again next week, but we probably won't have too many like separate basement levels, just because having a lab that's dug too far under the ground probably leads to a slight complication in terms of the house falling in on it. But we probably do need to include things like a bunker and just the other scienceable bits that he would have, which would be like a regular chemical lab. Chemical lab, probably more in terms of mechanics as well. And then I would have to look into other options for what you would have in a lab, but just the general ideas of playing with chemicals, trying to make new compounds, testing things, maybe that whole concept of burning bodies down there if need be. Or if we're going to get into chemical warfare, functionally you could just have an acid bath that you drop people in and dissolve it. Either way, we probably shouldn't be talking actively about murder on Twitch. That's something will probably get me called out on that. But that aside, it's good to have everybody here. Hopefully you've at least had some fun hearing my insane ramblings while trying to get stuff figured out. I'm going to assume that the Soku 2 download went through. I'm just going to have to find where it actually downloaded it to. Okay, it did download to there. Cool. And then I'll just test it out to make sure I'm not getting the same error that I had before. But this will be the end of my usual streaming week, at the very least. So I'll be back next Wednesday. I believe we would be doing Minecraft with the guys. And now that the End Dragon is gone, we have access to Endstone, which means I can technically decorate my area with that, since that's a villainous zone as well. Thursday, we're probably going to move Labyrinth of Galeria over to Thursday, just so that way we can keep Ragnarok on Fridays and we don't have to worry about the patches kind of screwing us up. Also, thank you, Omega, for the hydration. And then we'll just kind of go back to doing art stuff on Saturday, which should work out relatively well. Salty is doing gaming at the very least. Gives you another 24 hours to fix Ragnarok if it's still broken. Oh, no, it's not broken. I was playing it earlier today, actually. To explain roughly what happened, Omega, Thursday is just general patch day, but the patches are usually only like 5 hours or so, running from about like 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. But the patch that was yesterday, they just decided it was 9 hours for some reason, so it went from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Or 8 hours, rather. So just mildly annoying. So we're just going to move it off patch day, just so that way we don't have to worry about this kind of crap happening again. Because, like, nothing wrong with patch days, but if patch days are going to be all day, then that's kind of pushing it a little bit. Huh. None of our normal art friends are actually online tonight. Well, Sako's on, sorry. We did kind of raid Sako yesterday, though. Windows users don't ever stream on Tuesdays. I mean, you're not wrong, Omega. A lot of people usually just need to fix their shit anyways in that regard. Where are we sitting on our ruling? Fuck it. We'll just go into Sako again. It's fine. Unless, Solace, do you know of anyone else that would roughly be in our community that does art? Just no one in my side actually is, which is weird. You got no one? Really? Dreamer Pop is really weird for Saturday? It is. Like, there's nothing significant going on that would stop people from streaming too, so I don't even know what the hell's going on with that. Oh, Pokemon is a good one to go out on. Raid 1, Raid 2, Raid Sako Neko. This is fine. Well, again, thank you everybody for joining in. Hopefully you have a fantastic evening. I'll be back next week with some fun times. But aside from that, if you need to reach me, I'm just on the Discord. So if you want to join us in casual conversation, there's the place. But for now, that's all I got. So thank you for dropping by. Have a good night. Bye-bye. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.